and these trials that we go through are actually molding us and changing us and causing us to find strength and perseverance. And like to see that side of things, it's like knowing that life is happening for your good, not to you. You know, life is not
Yeah.
happening to you, but life is happening for you, and God has a plan in all of it. So that's been a huge one.
Coming live on your radio.
What they want?
That real and raw.
How they get it?
DJ Focus.
What we doing?
Making music, reaching the corner. And it's all for the
And
kingdom.
we gon' make sure they know it.
Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it. Saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Welcome back, family. You tapping into the Fixx. DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You know what time it is, and we are in for a treat today. I'm gonna call her family. I feel like she's family now. She
I
comes
am.
by the Fixx all the time, and I promise you, she has a heart for God. I promise you. But she also knows how to make some amazing music. I got to give roses to the artists and producers and everybody who's making sonically good music. And again, it's hard to make music that's faith infused, faith inspired, about God, but also still, give it a good essence, a good sound to it, make you feel good. And she never disappoints. Listen, you know what it is. The one and only Blanca joining us. What's going on, sis?
What's going on? I feel so happy to be here. It does feel like family. I'm like, we've had a few conversations now, and it's always love, so much support. So I'm really grateful that I'm back with you.
Absolutely. So come on, talk about this vibe. This new track out, Worthy. This is a whole vibe. This, it's not that you have not done, good, Latin Afrobeat type music before, but this one just sounds different to me. Like it just feels good. It just feels good. And again, the message in it, the worship message in it, is unmatched. So just talk to us about this new song, Worthy.
Man, where do I even begin? Worthy, um, is kind of just like the launch to all the new music that's to come. I've been working on a new album, and I was expressing this a little bit to you, but I grew up, I'm from the Caribbean. My family's from Puerto Rico, and like ingrained in our roots and in our culture is kind of this music that makes you feel good, takes you to, like I listen to Afrobeat stuff, I listen to Afro like Latino stuff, and it just like transports you, right? You're at the beach, you're feeling good, you're with family, you're feeling good energy and good vibes. But I'm like, we can create this um for Jesus music, you know what I mean? Like I want to create things that have that same feeling, but also bring honor to Jesus and what he's done in my life. So it was the perfect combination, and it came together so beautifully. But honestly, that was kind of the inspiration, is just grabbing from things that I feel really inspired by, but bringing in a message that can be uplifting and encouraging to people.
Was there a specific Bible verse that you were sitting with when you started writing this? Was there, somewhere in your devotional time? Because I feel like God kind of gave this to you.
Man, I mean, there's so many things. Like I went in to the studio. I have like this whole concept of what I wanted my album to be about. And I remember walking through a season, like we talked during the Heartbreak and the Healing era, which was my last album. And a lot of my music really in general comes from a lot of pain.
Okay.
It comes from having to do life, and then, you're writing kind of the after effects of what you've experienced. But in this season that I found myself in, I'm like, what do I talk about? Like, I've already kind of walked through all these things, and God, like, I need inspiration. I need to know, like, what do you talk about from a place of peace and joy, and what does that look like? Because I'm really not going through trauma, right? Like which feels like a lot of my life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just begin to write things down. Like I want to talk about the goodness of God. He has walked me through all those seasons. Let's create a song that just speaks on how he's shown up and how he is worthy of everything that I do. So I wrote down all these concepts, and without giving away too much, because I haven't released the name of my next album, I haven't released kind of anything else besides this track, but it
Mm-hmm.
all flows together of kind of the after, what comes next from the heartbreak and the healing. Like what does life look like next outside of that? And that was the concept behind these songs.
Okay, so this was an amazing collaboration. You work with Taylor Hill on this, as well as Isabella and Anton. Just talk about that collaboration and working with them on this song. What did that mean to you, and what was that like? Just you guys creating that?
This is my dream team. For those of you who one don't know Taylor, Taylor Hill is an
She dope.
incredible
She dope.
artist.
Yeah, she dope.
And he, like, we've written a few songs on my last album. He helped me write New Day, and he's now coming out with like his own stuff, but they just bring the best out of me. Like Isabella and Anton, they're from Sweden, and I got to work with them for the first time on my last project. So coming into this next season of writing new music, I just knew, I'm like, there's no one else I need to write with. There's nothing else I need to do. I just need to get with my team who brings out the best of me and knows my heart. And they did just that. This was our first session that we had. I wrote Worthy probably a year ago to date, and is
Wow.
now coming
Okay.
out. But to show you the process, like, I just knew I just needed to get in with them and that things would flow. So they're incredible. I have nothing but praises to say about all of them. They do things with such excellence and have such a gift and really help me kind of tap into it within myself.
Speak just a little bit more to that, because I want the independent artists who may be listening right now to understand the importance of having a team to help build that sound and that creativity that you want to bring out. Like, just speak a little bit more about having that dream team now and
Of
what that
course.
means, you know?
There's so many times, like, I get artistry. You have this idea that for a long time, even back in my group one crew days, for those who remember me from there, I was like, I'm just a singer. Like, that's what I'm good at. That's what I want to do. Like, please don't make me speak in front of people. Please don't try to, push me to do other things. And so I kind of looked at myself like, I'm not a writer, or I'm not gifted in these other areas. And as I started to challenge that and get around other people that were really strong within those giftings, they started tapping into places within myself that were there, that just needed a little bit more attention. And so I say all that to say, as an artist, sometimes we feel like we have to be the ones that create all of it. If it's not all from us, then it's not authentic to like our creativity, or what we're trying to bring to the table. But in all honesty, it's just like the body of Christ. Like, we all have a role. And sometimes when you partner up with people that, like, maybe, let's say in my thing, like Isabella and Anton, they're not artists per se, but one is really strong at writing, the other is really good at musicianship and making beats and all these things. And you put us all together, it's like we get to flow in a way that everybody's bringing something to the table and creating something beautiful. So, yes, I challenge you, as an independent artist or as an artist in general, like, try things out. Challenge yourself to get around people that will um, build you up and help you grow in those areas. Just like friendships, like, you don't want to be the best at everything in your friend group, right? You want to
Right.
have other people in your circle that are good at other things, that challenge you, that check you, that bring out the best in you. And that's how we all grow. So that's my piece of advice.
So, I thank you for sharing that. That was amazing. How do you stay true to your artistic sound in the midst of you trying new things, as you experiment with new sounds and you work with your dream team and they maybe
Hmm.
challenge you in areas that maybe you feel like you hadn't been challenged before? How do you stay still true and balance, still being able to get a little bit of what they're giving you, but still stay true to what God has called you to do?
Well, ultimately, what I love about my team is that they know that I'm the one that's going to bring the overall message, the overall idea. Like, I come in ready and prepared to say, hey, these are the things I want to talk about. These are the things that I've been listening to that have inspired me lately. Like, I don't
Mm,
just sit there and say, like, what do you guys think I should do? Like, it
that's good.
requires you still being in charge of leading the ship. You're in the passenger seat, or you and God are driving the ship, and they're all passengers on your, I don't need this analogy of, like, I see it as a car. Like, you have all these passengers in your car, but you're the one ultimately that's going to be driving it, and they're following your lead. So continuing to trust your instincts, to speak up, like, those are all things that have challenged me in this season, to be like, I don't have to be everything to everybody, whatever advice they have or whatever they're giving to me sonically or they think that could be cool for me. Like, I get to have the last say and say, like, I feel comfortable doing that or I don't, or this is cool, but let's take it this way. And that's been the biggest growth that I've seen within myself is like, I don't know. I feel like that's the lesson in my current life is God saying like, Blanca, you have a voice and you have discernment and you have all these gifts that I've given you. Like it's all inside, you know, and the people that I'm placing around you are there to amplify but not to lead. You could lead with me on the direction that we have in store. So that's really important, is still having your voice and speaking up for things.
That's good. Listen, let's stay on the little bit of the spiritual faith journey and God talking to you a little bit. You know, as you go through your daily spiritual regimen and God speaks to you, however you do it, whether through prayer, you're
Mm-hmm.
studying, you know, what's new that He's shown you in that area? Because I feel like it's something that is just like new coming out of you. So, like, has He shown you something new outside of your music that He wants you to do?
Oh, that's such a good question. He's always showing me something new. I think this season has been all about self-awareness, about I'm trying to see even where to start. Like when you've gone through a lot of trauma, um, like
Mhm.
I have in my life, it's easy to give your power away to all of these situations that you've gone through and say like maybe if I, wasn't abused as a child, I wouldn't have the things that I'm dealing with now. Maybe if I would have been protected here, like I wouldn't have this story of divorce, or if I could like and what God is showing me is like I have the power within myself to be accountable to these things. Yes, they've happened, but now I get to choose how I live the rest of my life. I get to choose how I show up for my son and I show up for the present moment that he's given me. I can't keep living in this place of the past and the pain of the past. And so that's been the journey I've been on. It's just like a new awareness, a new desire to want to live in what he's doing right now. And it's been where I've found the most peace and the most joy in my life.
You know, you have been, shouts out to you for just allowing for us to come into your world. Let's be very clear. I do want to ask you though, how have you been? I mean, you have expressed everything you have been through, but just on a mental note, you know, what have you been doing just to take care of your mental well-being and making sure you're all right? And how have you been, you know?
I've been good. I've been
Okay.
good. It's always a journey. Like, I feel like life is really the ebbs and flows. There's ups, there's downs, but it's important for us to stay moldable and just flexible through all of that, knowing that God is ultimately in control. And so I have found, like I was telling you earlier, just like the most peace in focusing on what's in my control and allowing God in all of those spaces, but letting Him take care of the rest. And that's not an easy thing to do. Like I feel like with
Mhm.
fear and insecurities and things that we experience as humans, we want to like try to control everything because that's what feels the most safe. But I have found the most peace in knowing, like, hey, I'm letting go of this. I've grieved it or I've thought through it and now it's in God's hands and you keep moving forward. So, mental health for all of those listening is such an important part. Like, don't put it aside. Don't, just hope it goes away. Like, take the time to really focus in on those places and um, through prayer and meditation, but also giving the attention of like the people around you that can speak into those, bring light into those spaces. Like I've done therapy over the last year and just really focusing in on making sure my mental health is in the right space.
Are there any particular, like, do you have like some, like, I call them bedrock scriptures in my house? Like, do you have any particular scriptures that you do go to when you might feel a certain way or you might feel a little down that kind of like uplift you that you can share with the
Oh man,
people?
I have scriptures and I have like my daily reminders that my
Affirmations.
therapist has helped me with too. Like she's a woman of God and just continues to remind me to invite God in all spaces.
Mhm.
And so one that has really walked me through this season is like count it all joy when you go through trials. because it's,
Mm,
you know, the challenge itself and these trials that we go through are actually molding us and changing us and causing us to find strength and perseverance, and like to see that side of things. It's like knowing that life is happening for your good, not to you. You know, life is not
mm.
happening to you, but life is happening for you, and God has a plan in all of it. So that's been a huge one. And then my ultimate scripture is always, you know, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go in all things. Like knowing that God is in that process with me,
Mm.
and he grieves with me, he's walking with me, he's rejoicing with me. Like I'm not alone, and I can trust that. So that ties into a lot of my daily reminders of like keeping myself in a place that's present, and not in a survival brain, you know, saying I have choices, I have options. Like I'm not stuck there. You know, reminding your mind of those things helps you feel the freedom of like, um, this isn't an emergency, even though, you know, things that we go through in life might feel like they are. And another one is I'm safe, I'm loved, and I'm worthy because I'm his. That's something that I constantly tell myself when I start feeling a lot of anxious thoughts and things like that.
That's wild. That's good. One thing I've watched you over the years, you've always been able to be in the community. You outside. You don't try to just be. No, that's just being real. Like you do community events and you do things. I know I saw you at some point. You had partnered with Food for the Poor, and you were,
Yeah.
you know, doing some things with them. How does that align and with your faith and your music? You just doing service and helping or partnering with nonprofits and just trying to bring value and assist where you can. How does that align with your faith and your mission and your artistry?
I think it all comes hand in hand. I think that's the fullness of what God has for us. Is like, yeah, there's times and there's moments where you get poured into, which is like my girl community. I love my sisterhood. I have a huge community and support group here in Orlando, where I'm from. We get together monthly. You know, we we share our petitions, we share our prayers, our accomplishments, and we support each other through all of that. And they pour in so much into me. But I think the other half of the coin is also, once you get poured into, like making sure that you're giving back, that you're finding ways to use the gifts that God has given you, or you know, the goodness that he's doing, to then be a blessing in other people's life. And that's where I find purpose. That's where I find um strength in times of a hardship, is knowing like getting outside of my own circle, getting outside of just like my own problem, but digging into places that allow that experience to grow. So I loved partnering with Food for the Poor. I love what they're doing. I'm also headed to Dominican Republic next week. I'm going on a missions trip, and so
Let's go.
those are things that they bring me so much joy, and are a huge part of like what I do.
Listen, shouts out to the artists that really do Jesus work for real. Shouts out to the artists that do it for real. That's what's up. How do you prepare spiritually when you step on these large stages? Let's be very clear. You've done a lot of large stages. I know
Yes.
K-Love at Red Rocks. I think Doves you did too as well. Like, how do you prepare spiritually to get ready to go minister in front of all these people? Does it get at this point in your life and your career, are you still kind of like butterflies, kind of like anxious, or you just
Yes.
go out there and kill it?
No, I get nervous at every show.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I've been doing this for like 18 years. I don't even know. I'm not trying to
No, you
throw
have.
out numbers, but
Right.
it's been a minute.
Right.
And still to this day, I do shows and I get so much like butterflies. I feel so nervous. And I had someone tell me once, Blanca, I think it's because you really care. And that
Mhm.
shows that it matters to you, right? So I take that and I'm like, I do care. I want to give people my best, and I want them to have an experience that, like that I showed up and did my best. And so what I've done to counteract that is say, all I got to do is show up. I've done the prep. I've practiced the songs. I've rehearsed with the band. My job now is to show up and let God do the rest. So this ain't all about me. The more I focus in on what I have to do and putting this all on me, I leave no room for God to move and do what he's meant to do in these shows and in these, arenas. So that's been like my biggest place of like that, and of course prayer. I do like breath work, and it helps like calm my nervous system because I don't know, I just get super nervous at times, and that's always been the case since I was little. So those things, that combination of just like, again, knowing this is what God has called me to, like, and it's just my job to show up and allow him to do the rest, I think really leaves space for me to like not put everything on my shoulders. And I could be at times fickle. I could be one that maybe messes up, but like I could put my trust in God and know that ultimately he doesn't fail. And so it helps me take some of that pressure off of myself.
You got some more big performances coming up. Come on and tell the people what they can expect. I believe you're doing Gospel Explosion
I
as well
am.
as Music Festival, Horizon Music Festival. Come on and tell the people what they can expect if they happen to be out there in that audience, waiting for you to
I
come from
am
backstage.
so excited. I have, yeah, Horizon Fest is coming up this upcoming weekend, and then I have some other stuff coming in the Expo. God, what is it? Expo Music
Yeah, I think it's
Explosion Music, Gospel
Exposure
Music
Music.
Explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first time gonna be with them, and I'm super excited about that. But you can expect that I'm gonna pour out my heart, give it all I got. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna dance, and we're gonna lift up the name of Jesus. So I think those are the biggest things that you can expect. That it's gonna be a great, great time.
How does it feel? 18 years or 19 years in the game. How does it feel? You're a trailblazer. Yeah, I'm gonna give you roses. You've been doing it at a high level. You know,
Oh man,
how does it feel?
thank
How
you.
do you feel?
Um, well, first of all, thank you so much. That means the world, and um, I feel very honored and very grateful that God has given me this opportunity and that He continues to put wind and breathe on it. Like, where people have told me, like, hey, it's time to wrap it up. And you've been
Mm.
doing this for a while, like, this is kind of the decline. He just continues to lift it. And I'm on his timing. So if I really feel so grateful that I still get to do this, that this is um, a way that I get to express myself, and it's still something that is working. I don't know. It's an honor.
Is your plan for to keep dropping singles until you ready to drop this project and tease us? You gonna keep us all just waiting? Just all
Yeah,
right. Let me
keep you
see if
on
they
your
like this one.
toes. Keep you on your.
So maybe this year,
um,
maybe the end of this year or beginning top of 2025, dropping a new project.
yes, I think top of 2025, I'll have a new project out. I hope I could release another single soon. But for now, we're just gonna enjoy Worthy. Let
We
it
got.
take you, through the rest of summer
Mhm.
and into the fall, and then we'll see where we go from there.
We got some collaborations on this project you already got in the can. I mean,
I I
uh,
I
yeah.
have one collaboration
Okay.
in the can right now, and then I have some proposed collaborations coming. So
Okay.
you guys just pray that it all works together, and the people that are meant to be on this album will say yes.
What's next after music is over, or is there something else you would want to do? Like, are you looking to act? Are you
Yes.
looking to do write some more books, or like what else can we expect from you?
I feel like that I'm in that era for real. Like I'm in the next era of like I love music and I'll continue to do that for as long as the Lord allows me to. But I'm in this season of like, okay, what else do we have in the bag? Like maybe we do write a book. Maybe we do, try to get into some acting stuff, which has always been a dream for me. But ultimately, I think right now what something I'm working on that's kind of in the first stages is I would like to start a podcast.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
we're working on, the kind of the premise and putting it all together. But I think just really focusing on honest and raw conversations about, your faith and womanhood and hardships and all those things, and just talking about it, I think would be really fun for me to explore.
Well, you already know. Call your family over here. You need any advice, any tips? Know how to set it up?
Yes,
Say
I'll be
less. That's
calling you.
that's already
So
done. That's already done. So, my little cousin in Nashville wanted to ask me, just in case, wanted me to ask you, forgive me, just in case, where are we at with our relationship status now? I know we have moved from being married and went through some heartbreak and all that good stuff. Are we courting, dating, single, and satisfied? Can,
We
talk about it.
it's that's
You
my
outside?
my personal, but I'm outside.
I don't
No,
know, but
I'm definitely in a relationship right now, and it's
okay,
been beautiful to do kind of in a private setting with our
good,
family and friends kind of
good.
surrounding us and being there to support. But yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. So I'm looking forward to hopefully eventually
Mhm.
expressing that to the fans and being a little bit more public with it.
That's what's up, sis. I'm glad you good. All right, come on. Tell the people how they connect with you. Forgive me. First, thank you for coming by. Always a blessing. You
Thank
can
you.
come back anytime you want. But please tell the people how they connect with you, follow you on social media platforms, and introduce your latest single.
Yes, make sure you guys connect with me on all platforms. I'm at Official Blanca. So you can go to my website at officialblanca.com or follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Official Blanca. And I need to introduce this next single. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Guys, I am so excited about this single that is finally out. I've been waiting. I've been pushing my label and saying, please, the people need to hear this. It's the summer vibes. Don't let the summer go without it coming out. And it happened. It's out now. You're about to hear my first single off my next album. This is Worthy.
Keep it locked. You tune into the Fixx. You know the Fixx is in.